Hey guys, this is Apostle Elise. I'm actually en route right now, and I wanted to come on here and do a video because I want to drop some knowledge so some of you guys will be notified that I'm live. This is definitely as above, below today. This is Jupiter Day, Thursday. This is a great opportunity to learn what to do when you taking on spiritual hits. I want to say hello to my brothers and sisters in Ifa, Voodoo, Santeria, Lukumi, Congo, Palo. Also to, what's up, that Minister Mario, son of Ochosi on Thursday. I want to say also to my Pisces, Aries, Taurus, Libra, Virgo, Capricorn, Sagittarius, Libra, to each and every one of you guys that will be watching via YouTube and Facebook. This is so very, very important that people need to understand why it is important as an individual to recognize. I was asking Mr. Mario to get me Mark the 3rd chapter, the 27th verse, and basically having an understanding what it means when the enemy is already in the camp. What's up, Mama Susan Gemini? What does it mean when you have already taken on a spiritual hit, whether that is mentally, whether that is financially, whether that is concerning your health or your relationships? And I'm realizing that a lot of people that are in the ATRs, whether that's in Ifa, Voodoo, Santeria, Lukumi, Congo, a lot of people do not even understand what it means to be hit spiritually. What's up there, Unveiling Ann? Thank you so much for joining us, family. I know this is a little earlier than I was, but I'm headed to go re-up on some spiritual tools. And I really wanted to come out here and share with you guys a mindset that I hope that if you're in Voodoo, Santeria, Lukumi, Congo, and Palo, that you as an individual will start recognizing if you have been spiritually hit. And that can be something as concerning something that takes place on your job. It could be a spiritual hit emotionally from family. It could be a spiritual hit. And spiritual hit is when somebody has sent a spirit or an energy or a force or an artificial avatar. It could be an ancestor. What's up there, Jabaz? What's up? How you doing? Good morning. Shabazz. Shazam. Oh, that's good in my world. But, you know, a lot of times I wonder, what's up, Nikki G. Smith? Karen O'Brien, what's up, babe? Now, when you realize, because that's the concept, when you have taken on a spiritual hit, and when you think about it from the aspect of Mark the 3rd chapter, 22nd, could you read that for me, Minister Mario? Can you read that?
No man can enter into a strong man's house.
No man can enter into a strong man's house
and spoil his goods.
And spoil his goods.
Except he will first bind the strong man.
Except he will first bind up the strong man.
And then he will spoil his house.
And then he will spoil his house. In other words, when I'm talking to you guys, what I want to talk about, when you've already been ambushed, when you've already been bound. Now, that doesn't mean that you are not continuously going in your everyday life, but it is very difficult for you to get yourself out of a situation when you've already been spiritually hit. Your finances are already taking a hit. Your health is already taking a hit. Your relationship is already taking a hit. Your business is already taking a hit. And I want you guys to understand something. I'm a Sagittarius, my moon is in Aries, and my rising. I really believe in wisdom. And I don't believe that a lot of you guys are getting the proper wisdom when you have taken a spiritual hit. And let me explain why. Because the whole concept of somebody binding you means they have restricted you. That means you're not functioning at your optimum level, okay? Now, if you are already were going through before you had taken a spiritual hit, it's even worse, okay? But how can you deliver yourself out of something? So if somebody say, well, oh, read this out of the Bible, read this psalm, or burn this, or light this. Well, actually, the person has already bound your inner man. The strong man is your inner man, your inner kingdom. You're already under siege. They're already inside the castle. They have already inside the house. And I just do not believe it's wisdom to be telling people, especially my babes, if this has already happened. Now, if you're preventing somebody from breaking in, then that's one thing. But if you have already been taken on a hit from anybody or any situations of a spell work or working, then you're not in the same the position that somebody that's still defending their house. I mean, defending their house means that they have not entered into the house, no less than bound you up. So I want to talk to you guys that have already got health issues. I want to talk to you guys that already got mental issues. I want to talk to you guys that your relationship has already been broken up. I want to talk to you guys that your finances are already in a disarray. I want to talk to you guys that are already operating under the confusion spell. I want to talk to you guys that already went to jail behind this working. You've already lost weight. You've already taken on sickness due to this. Do not listen to people that tell you to do things on your own. I know this is it's a hard pill to swallow, but you have to pray to your ancestors at that point to guide you to somebody to help deliver you. Do not serve man. What's up there, Kimberly Simpson? I'm riding y'all. Minister Mario with his gadgets have made this possible for me to do this live while I'm driving. But when somebody, if I want you to win, and if I want you to come out your situation, what I want to do is bring you to a place of realism. I want to bring you to a place of rationale. Okay, you're already in financial debt. You're already in financial disarray. Okay, what we have to do is take what you got and then work with it. Because you're going to have somebody that's willing to ride this tide with you. I'm just that straight up. This is why I believe in proactive actions. Because if most people don't want to work with people when you are already up under the gun, because normally they don't have the money. Normally their finances are tight. Normally people don't seek for help before they get into these conditions. So I wanted to talk to you guys that are already in a condition, but I also want to talk to you guys that if you're sensing that you are being attacked, don't wait until they're actually entering in the house and now they have sieged you, okay? Your inner man. They're restricting your ancestors. There are certain workings that people can actually block your ancestors from coming in and helping you. I want to make it clear to you from somebody that has a long line of experience. Spiritual warfare is very real. It is very costly, and ignorance is the most costly aspect of spiritual. What's up, Monique? Cancer. And when you realize that you are in that predicament, I would admonish you to actually stop. You have to find somebody, I don't care how long it takes, because any other person is going to make your situation worse because you are already bound. I have literally, like if I'm doing a healing, I did a video a little earlier on TikTok, and if I'm doing a healing on somebody, one of the things that I have to do is stop the bleeding, okay? The bleeding of the energy. What's up, T. Carter, Scorpio? And then once I stop the bleeding, I must seal the energetic hole that has been received through the attack. And then another thing you have to do is actually secure that person and then create a barrier or perimeter around them. Now, also, this becomes difficult if this person has to come out of that perimeter. In other words, if you got to go to work, if you got to go to the grocery store, because even if you set up something for them at their home, they're not going to stay in that energy field. They're not going to stay. So that spirit is going to have access to them at another later date. Driving a spirit off at that moment does not take away from the damage they have done. Okay? See that I want to go. This spiritual stuff. So, I was thinking about this because just having the information or repeating information you have heard from another spiritualist is dangerous, because sometimes people are very good at listening to videos and reading books, and they may come up with a certain idea of a procedure, but it is very dangerous to the person that has been spiritually hit, and also dangerous to the person that is responsible for protecting them. Because now those spiritual hits, instead of hitting that person, now they must hit that other person that is supposed to be stronger. What's up, D? Pittman. That's family in the house. How can I say this? I said this before. Most people that get in trouble, my grandmother used to say, trouble easy to get in and hard to get out. A lot of you guys, I am giving free information. So in order for you to have an idea what it costs for you to get healed of some spiritual attack, and then if you get spiritually attacked and take on a hit, and you already have bad behavior in your lifestyle, it just makes that condition worse. And I like to attribute that to a medical condition. If you have diabetes, or you may have kidney failure or heart failure or these things, and then you also have a poor diet, it just exacerbates the situation. It just makes it more difficult. If you don't exercise, it just makes it more difficult. If you don't drink water, it just makes it more difficult. If you eat processed food, or you stay in a stressful environment, all of these things just enhances an already negative condition. So this is why I believe in teaching people better lifestyle. That's the concept. Teaching people better lifestyle before they actually get involved in a spiritual hit. Now, this is another thing. A lot of y'all love to use sage. When you already do not have strong protection, I do not advise sage. I'm telling y'all, sage is not a negative. You have to know, if you're gonna do spring cleaning on yourself, just like when you do spring cleaning on your house, that means you getting rid of everything, the old and the new. You going through everything, and a lot of y'all don't have enough positive energy to replace when you do that. And what I mean by that is, a lot of times you have not correctly consecrated your home, your apartment, or yourselves, and so the little amount of positive energy you have, now you done cast that away, because sage removes positive and negative energy. Because what people don't realize, everything is energy, and you can do just as much damage with positive energy than you can do with negative energy if you know what you're doing. So a lot of times when you do cleansing and you listening at a lot of these other practitioners and spiritual people, and you don't understand that energy. And listen, sage is ruled by Jupiter. That's my element. I'm telling you, it's like Jupiter, because this is as above so below Jupiter day. Jupiter expands, right, and make more of what you got. So if you don't have nothing, it makes more of that. If you have trouble, it makes more of that. So if you don't put in front of Jupiter what you want more of, and you going through, and that energy comes in, it's gonna make you go through even more. So having an understanding of magic and spirituality, especially when you have been already attacked and you've already taken a hit, counsel is good, guys. Spend some time educating yourself, asking questions, and listen, ain't nothing for free. I'm just being straight up with you. A lot of times, it's not that you guys can't get answers, it's that you guys ain't trying to pay for the answers. And so therefore, those people, whoever, me, myself included, are going to be evasive in the information, because you have to pay for that type of insight. You have to pay for that type of service. And too many of you guys claiming you want spirituality, but you're not investing. And that's what I tell you. I spend a lot of money, even if I have to make sacrifices to get the spiritual stuff that I need. And that's what makes me serious about my practice. If you are still up on a certain amount of resources spending on your spirituality, you're not serious. What's up, Janine Wise? It's just like a man saying that he's serious about you, and you got a 4-bedroom house and he want to give you $200 a week. He ain't serious. He's not serious because it takes more than that to run a 4-bedroom house. Okay? In life, I'm not dissing nobody. I'm just telling you the truth. In life, depending on what you want, what you're trying to accommodate, and what you're trying to get out of. What's up there, Nancy Smith, Aries from Phoenix, Arizona? It is very important that if you can avoid even getting into these dilemmas. I've seen people start out and they get into them. They're trying to come out of those situations and they're spending money here and spending money there. When you have been bound, baby, you got to be loose. The Bible says that the woman was bound for 18 long years. When somebody puts a binding spell, a binding work on you, and depending on who did that and what they bound you with, because you can bind people with iron, you can bind people with salt, you can bind people in the crossroads, you can bind people with fire, you can bind people with air, you got water, all the elements. You can bind people with stars or a constellation of stars. You can bind people with animal spirits. You can bind people with certain trees that you can bind, certain Palo spirits, bind people, voodoo spirits. You can bind people with hoodoo, with a mixture of voodoo. Like when you dealing with a binding, remember in the book of Jeremiah the prophet, and he was bound with wood. At one point, the guy was bound with wood, a yoke around his neck with wood. The man of God prophesied, broke that out. Then God came back and bound him with iron. There's so many ways that somebody can bind you. And depending on who put that binding work on that individual, it is not easy to release that person. His meat ain't that good. I just saw that. Does the effect change what you use? Bye-bye. Minister Mario, what she said right here? Does the
effect change with what you use for binding?
Yes. Because you can bind somebody unto sickness. So there are certain poisonous herbs or poisonous animals that can be used to do that bounding. So this is why readings, or some people use the word divination or discernment, is necessary, because you just can't recognize. Because some of y'all just, let me tell y'all something. Somebody telling you a diagnosis does not help your situation. Somebody telling you somebody ambushed you, sent a spiritual hit on you, or somebody struck you with a working, that don't help you. Just no different than a doctor diagnosing you with cancer or tumors. It just makes you aware. And then if there is no resolution to that situation, most people, after trying whatever they feel like they can try, fear sets in, especially if they see the effects of that particular working. And fear is the worst of emotions that a person can have when it comes down to them actually trying to get delivered out of a binding work. Okay, there's binding works. There's binding works that can be utilized with your warriors, those that are in Santeria or Lukumi. There's binding works that people utilize with their statues or their saints. There's binding works that I have actually did up under bridges. Find an abandoned bridge and place a binding work. You can utilize a rock, a specific type of rock, to do a binding work on somebody, and then place them under that rock, and that places the pressure on that individual. Somebody can place one of the some of these spiritual stones on top of your picture and bring pressure to your life. You know, I've seen people on YouTube that practice certain types of workings, and they've used water and used stones and placed that person's picture up under that, because water represents emotion. And then when they place the make that water black or muddy, what happens is they make those emotions very dark, from being angry, from being depressed. A lot of you guys, when people do jar spells on you, the jar, when people do those type of binding works and place you in there, or tie those dolls up, because you don't have to have, they don't necessarily have to use a voodoo doll. They can use stick figures. They can use, like, when I tell you binding work is like a very vast skill set and can be utilized with, I've actually used a binding work and bound somebody upside down. Not only did I bind them, but I turned them upside down. So everything that they're going through being the reverse. So not only is it hard to unbind yourself, but it's also hard to unbind yourself when you've been reversed and put upside down. Like, I'm just like, a part of me coming on these lives is to broaden your perspective, because I believe that many of you guys think that you've read enough, or you've seen enough video that makes you an expert on this. Spirits give you insight of how to do certain workings. Sometimes spirits from the my ancestry, sometimes my own guardian spirits tell me certain things, depending on what I'm dealing with. Restricting people of mobility, rendering them, there's a work in Psalms 1. We use that's more hoodoo though. We use that to break the power of an individual, right? This is when when somebody's breaking your power, which is they're restricting you once again, you're gonna have stomach issues. You're gonna have digestive issues, because your sun, your SUN, or your solar plexus, is within your digestive system. And so therefore, you may start vomiting, you may start having stomach cramps. I can tell when somebody's trying to work on me and trying to break my power. I mean, we all do it, especially spiritual workers. We all do it to one another. You break their power down, so it makes it difficult for them to fight back. It makes it difficult for them to get help, find help, but these are some of the things that come along with having a spiritual hit. Headaches, when somebody's trying to mess with your psyche or your mind. Taking spiritual hit, you become confused, you become easily agitated, you don't know friend from foe. You don't know what to listen to and what not to listen to. I can tell when certain people have taken on a spiritual hit. And doing a spiritual cleansing is only going to wash the obvious residue off. But if it does not remove the effect of that spiritual hit, that poison has to be driven out of your energy field. That's why I did foot cleansers. It's like, I'm gonna use an example to give you a better example. If a rattlesnake bites you, right? You wiping the surface does not remove the venom that has already entered into the bloodstream. So when somebody is doing spiritual washes on you, they're just washing what was left from the fangs when it came out of your skin. But what those fangs have released in your bloodstream has not been dealt with. The same thing with a spiritual hit. If the person just breaks off the wood part of the arrow and not get the poison head of that arrow, you still in trouble. So a part of spiritual healing is knowing the individual, whether they're in Ifa, Voodoo, Santeria, Lukumi, Congo, Apollo, being able to go into that person's energetic field and find or locate that poison and draw that poison out of that body, which is not easy, which is traumatic in to say the very least, and then get the poison out, then pour ashe or energy to replace, because if you take something out, even though it's poison, you got to put something back in. A lot of people don't know how to do that. And so that's why a lot of people never recover from spiritual hits, whether those spiritual hits are concerning their health, whether it's concerning their finance or relationship, because that person has to remove the poison that has entered into the energetic field of the marriage, the business, or the relationship, or, you know, etc. Y'all got any questions? Because I'm just riding. But that was a good, Janine Wise, that was a good question about the different types of binding and stuff. I think that, I think that a lot of people may not even at times know what to ask. And they just, I feel like people on social media make this stuff look too simple. And it's not. Doctors would not be paid hundreds and thousands of dollars if surgery was so simple and everybody could do it. Healing people and delivering people from certain spiritual hits, and that's why I'm very big on people not waiting. And most people, because they lack knowledge, they don't realize that time is essential. When you have already been spiritually hit, when they've already bound you up, you don't have much time before that stuff start affecting your energy and before it start affecting your physical world. And that's where most people, when they do find somebody that can actually help them, normally there's so much damage that has already been done to that person's life. It takes a while. And a lot of people, once they get somebody to help them, they want things to be changed immediately, and it just do not work like that. What did she say? All I see is wow.
Well, I really am amazed. I started having testicular out of the blue, migraines out of the blue.
Migraine, okay. One of the things that where migraines come in is when people are working on you. They might be doing skull magic. They may be doing just speaking word, because anytime people prophesy things or speaking things out of their mouth, that's really air magic, which affects your mental mind or your mental body. And most people do not have head coverings on, or they don't have certain protections on their head or head dressings. And this is why a lot of people are going through a lot of different changes. Yolanda Williams has
Yolanda Williams, that's on Facebook.
Yeah, can you read that?
That's on Facebook.
Problems. Hold on just a minute, Yolanda. Mr. Mario going on there, so I can, because I can't read. I can't drive and read. It's actually raining out here.
Problems on my job. The supervisor is intimidated by me. I'm there to do my job and go home.
But what's the question? When you, like, when people have, like, let me say this. Energetically, clean yourself. Always do a cleanser. I'm very big on cleansers. But when it comes to things on jobs, a lot of times people are not mentally prepared to deal with the other personalities on jobs. And then we think it's just as simple as, I'm there to do my job. I want to excel on the job. Well, if somebody else is threatened by you, you have to be prepared. The Bible, and most of them went to church all our life. We all done heard this. Blessing come with persecution. And I say this oftentimes, people get offended with me. Why aren't you expecting the persecution? Persecution means affliction. That means if somebody does not want you to supersede them and they see that you have the potential, you should already be spiritually on guard, ready for those oppositions. I'm not shocked about certain things. The Bible says, thinking not strange of the fiery trial. If you want to be left alone, then you need to find a cave. That's real talk. You wanna isolate yourself from any interaction with people, other people energy. But if you're going to deal with society, you must be prepared, because every city, every town, every state has a different societal energy and certain psyches that dominate a particular area, and you have to be prepared for those things mentally. I know in the church they say put the helmet of salvation on, but if you don't know how to spiritually do that, then you need somebody else to fix that. All of this just thinking that somebody gonna lay hands on you and somebody gonna pray and then that's all you gotta do. It don't work like that. It don't work like that. It takes a lot of different things to protect. Mario just fell. All right, it takes a lot of things that just slipped off. Y'all, sorry about that. But it takes a lot of different things to protect yourself. If it was all about that, I would need a lot of the tools that I have to protect myself from spell work, from incantations, from prayer work. Because church magic, let me talk about that too. Church magic, if you grew up in a Catholic church, Seventh Adventist church, Pentecostal church, each one of these type of church, the Church of God in Christ, these are different types of magic where you can take on spiritual hits. And they are very distinctly different. When I'm cleansing somebody, I can almost tell their particular religion based off of their the type of work that was done against them. Because Pentecost, anytime you have to get consultations. This is a business for me, y'all. Even though I'm a pastor and apostle, I don't just have random conversations with people. That's not how we do it in Apostolic Faith of Jesus Christ. You can book a consultation, and I can do a reading on you, or we can talk about whatever you want to proceed to. I keep trying to tell y'all, I do not get a salary from my church. My social media platform is how I take care of the obligations of ministry and my travels and doing my work. And so I don't do random calls, only to my clients that are already donated monies for those type of services. So I'm not being funny, I'm not being insensitive, but it costs for my time, okay? So I come on here because I'm trying to get a lot of you guys to realize, depending on how you came up in church, who you came around. But not only if people in church don't like you, most people in church that grew up in church, they don't just stop at not liking you. They like to speak things over people's life. A lot of people get into warfare because they were raised up in church, passing opinions and gossiping about people, and they feel justified because if they demonize you or call you the devil, then that makes what they're saying okay. And it does not. When you read the Bible and read the book of Psalms, you'll find out there are different things that you have to protect yourself and in order for you to grow and develop. A lot of the stuff that you guys are missing is because these people do not know what they're doing, and they just selling dreams, they're selling hopes when there's real work to be done. You having break problems, and you're here to the point where now everybody else knows you got brake problems. Now think about this. You can have brake problems where your sensor comes on and only you know, or whoever riding in the car knows, right? But if you do not attend to those brake problems, then everybody gonna eventually know, because your brake pads are gonna wear to now the metal is scrubbing against the metal. So every time you hit the brakes, people on the outside know. You never want to wait until everybody else obviously knows that you have been spiritually hit. There's things that you can do to address issues before they get out of control. I'm a big component in being proactive and nipping stuff at the bud. I do believe and do understand that a lot of you guys believe in trying to find the most cheapest person somebody that you give a couple dollars to and then they promise you the world. I promise you, you get exactly what you pray for. Ain't nobody fit to do all this work for an individual that they don't know, that ain't their child, and make your life all great and grand and put you on the top of the world, okay? For nothing. It just don't work like that. If I take my car to the mechanic, even though my brakes need to be done, they're gonna charge me. Oh, they may tell you, say, if you don't get these fixed, this car is in danger, that brakes can lock up, or XYZ. They're gonna tell me the things that I need to know about if I do not get those brakes fixed. They might tell me, oh, you know what, you got a couple more miles or a couple more, there's enough cushion in them brakes that, but you got maybe about two weeks worth of wear, okay? Understand, knowledge is also being accountable for the conditions in your life. And a lot of us that grew up in the church have been lied to, and they done told you Jesus gonna fix everything. Think about what your life looked like now. If you hadn't got up and went to work, you'll still be hungry. If you haven't got up and cleaned up, your house will still be dirty. If you hadn't got up and went to the bathroom, you would have made a mess on yourself. Some things you grow up to a point where you start realizing that I have allowed a lot of stuff to happen in my life because somebody told me all I needed to do was pray about it. And that's, sir and ma'am, that's not the truth. If that's all it took, then we all would be on top. We all would be above only and not beneath. If all it took is having a desire to want it better, then everybody would be doing better. And we know that ain't the truth. Yes, that has happened to me a lot. I don't attend anymore. Yeah, and not only that, not just, this is really sad what I'm going to say, is a lot of people believe because they leave an environment that they leave the energy behind. Once you've entered into a person, a place, or a thing, you pick up that energy. And this is why I tell people, and I was teaching yesterday about being tolerated. When you have hung around people, and especially, and women, women don't like to admit this, but a lot of women keep a lot of negative energy going on, competing with other women, gossiping about other women. And once you come into that atmosphere, if you don't spiritually clean yourself, you can walk away from the person, the place, or the thing, but the energy is still there and it's affecting your life. Sometimes you even transfer, if you are a mother, you transfer that energy on your children, because we all are energetic beings. This is what I'm trying to get y'all to understand. Just physically leaving a circumstance or situation does not mean that you have detached yourself from that energy. Many years later, you still dealing with the traumas of that encounter. You understand? Think about it from the aspect of being raped. Just because you are not being raped anymore physically by that person does not mean that the actual mental or emotional or sexual connection that have been made, that you are still not dealing with that many, many years later. So I am trying to inform my babes, those that are going to practice the ATRs, do not get out here recklessly and then get yourself in a situation where somebody feels necessary to do this type of working on you, binding you and restricting you before you ever get started. Because that's a lot of damage can be done before you even get out here in these spiritual streets. She said, right, I'm learning this. Let me tell y'all something. Mental rape is real. Mental rape is real. When people force their ideas and perceptions on you without your consent, with no regards of how it may have ramifications in your life, is real. And a lot of you guys, I'm constantly trying to give you knowledge to fight off and make you mentally strong enough to fight off some of the ideas or perceptions that other people have of you. Can't find my website. It's right, actually it's on my YouTube channel. Just click on, go on my my page, on my YouTube page, and just click on that icon. It'll take you right there. I want y'all to understand, a lot of spiritual growth is teaching. And everybody cannot afford to take our time and raise a lot of broken people. A part of my ministry is the repair of the breach. I'm not out here trying to hustle for crumbs. Just being honest with some of y'all, because a lot of you guys, especially in the church world, a lot of y'all gonna die with well, I'm just keeping 100. A lot of y'all gonna die with a lot of issues because you were raised that Jesus gonna fix everything. So you don't really, I think Minister Mario said this one time, but it's a true statement. At first I got kind of offended when he said it, but you can't miss what you never had. If you never have experienced God's abundance and what God has the capabilities of doing in your life, then you can't realistically understand what you're missing out on, because it's still an idea. It's not a reality. Okay? But if you have ever lived in the reality of God's abundance and God's blessings, then you know what you're missing out on. So a lot of times I'm talking about things that may be foreign to you because you've never entered into those abundant places in God. So therefore you don't know what you're missing out on. So it all seems like a fairy tale. It all seems like too good to be true. But my thing to you is, if you don't believe it's more to God and more to life than what you live in, then why try? Why try to do better if you don't really believe that it's more to God and blessing than you being able to just pay your bills? For you to feel okay a couple times a week. For you to have a relationship for 2 or 3 years. And then after that, you're by yourself and go back through the same situation. A lot of this stuff is psychological. Psychological warfare is dangerous. It has been going on for many. It's done in Ifa, Voodoo, Santeria, Christianity, messing people up mentally and forcing people to accept certain behaviors as normal, as everyday life has messed up a lot of people. So a lot of people don't even have the expectation. I've heard people say, no, I'm like, you didn't feel disrespected by what they said? The idea that you don't even recognize that you are being disrespected because you're so low vibrational, or you have been tolerated so long, you don't even know how to stand up for yourself because you don't know to stand up for yourself. You don't even know what they said was foul, because you've been in toxic communication with family or friends or people that you call friends and associates. So a lot of this stuff that I'm talking about, that's why a lot of these, some of these, I shouldn't say a lot, but some people can listen to my live and just bypass like, oh, he just talking gibberish, because they've never experienced that. We got it. So I think that, oh, I'm over here. Yeah, Lord, hold on. When I go to talking, I stop driving fast. Do y'all have any questions? Because I am driving. Special people, actually y'all should have a lot of questions. Because if you're not in that dimension, you're not in that realm, and I'm saying stuff that is that's new to you, you should be having questions. Because the thing that, especially in our black cultures, that we have learned to fake it till we make it. So we believe in acting like we know instead of asking questions. So whether you have to be corrected or not, at least now you know. Yeah, if you look at it, it says on my YouTube, it'll say HPPTS, I think. And then it'll say Icon Apostolic Faith of Jesus Christ, Inc. All of that in one word. Click that right there. It'll take you right to my website. It should have it right by the word website. Normally I try to post it up there, even in my comment section. If it's lit up blue, you can click on that and it'll go take you right there. Let me tell y'all something. My classes are for the benefit of not just for you to be in the company of Apostle Ely, but when they say knowledge is power and knowing is half the battle, that's a real thing. And I do realize that a lot of people can't do better because they lack the information. But you have to pay to educate yourself. Just like if you want to go to nursing school, if you want to go to cosmetology, if you want to become a biologist or a scientist of any nature, you have to pay for your information. And you're not going to do better unless you know better. Last night you opened my mind, and today you blown it. I need to process this. Yeah, it's a real thing. And the reason why I'm doing this, because it's too many people that I'm seeing that really think they're in a place. And the only way you're gonna know you're not in a place is that somebody that from my status is telling you stuff you just do not know. It's so much stuff you haven't even considered, no less than talking about or praying about. It ain't even entered into your mind. It's almost like the scripture says, it has not entered into the minds or the hearts of man what God has prepared. You couldn't even imagine it, because there's not even a thought process has even come close to you even fathom that this is a part of this spiritual walk, this spiritual journey. Why would that cost that amount of money? Because some of you guys do not know that when people work with your blood, they're working with your DNA, and they're also working with your ancestral spirits. So somebody can, if they get a bloody tampon or they get some type of your blood, they can not only tie up your spirit, they can tie up your kid's spirit or anybody attached to your bloodline, depending on how strong they are. Let me make that clause. You know what I'm saying? We allow our bodily fluids to just freely be out here in the world. You know, women used to be so clean, they would not, even when they got their hair done, they would take their hair and they would they'll burn their hair. Because I grew up watching them burn their hair. If they were doing their hair, they want somebody to give me my hair, and I watch people in my family burn their hair. That's what they taught us to do. You know, don't leave the residue of your hair or certain things around for people to work with you, because your hair is also consists of your DNA, you know, as a man or a woman. And depending on where that hair came from, it affects different aspects of yourself. Thank you for putting that up, Wise. Much love for you. Thank you. I appreciate that. I tell y'all, like, I think that if people stop asking for stuff that they're not willing to work, I believe they would be in a better position to respect spiritual practitioner. You're welcome, sweetheart. And you'll understand why people attack your finances. When you understand why people, and I told my spiritual dad told me this, people attack your health and your finances. Now that if they make a spiritual hit on those two right there and actually are successful, you guys are gonna have all kind of problems. What's up, Exclusive K? A lot of my information is trying to get many of you guys to elevate your thought process so you can stop thinking you're doing something when you're spending a couple $100 or you spending a couple $1,000. You just barely scrubbing the surface. To me, when you spending up under $3,000 or $4,000 on your spiritual maintenance, you're basically at the edge of the you're standing on the land, and then the water that comes up to the land with the salt fuzz, that's what I call it. That's where you at. You're not even in the water. You're not even, no less than talking about in the depths of the sea or the ocean. You haven't even touched that. If it was so easy for you to be in the deep things of the spirit or God, then a lot of people would be walking powerhouses around here. They're not. That's why they can do the stuff that they do. That's why they can talk the way that they talk. And a lot of these people getting credit for doing great conjure when it ain't all of that. It's just that people just don't take care of their spiritual hygiene. And so this stuff lasts over a period of time. Now somebody thinking there's a powerful witch or age or root worker or conjurer until they run across somebody that can actually battle them. And now they're like, well, what's going on with my spell? What's going on with my hex or jinx? It's nothing wrong. It's just that the people that you are so used to working on do not take care of themselves. It's just like I look at women that know that they got a man that they take care of, or vice versa. You already know that man gonna fall when, oh, he came back to me. Where else he was going? The only reason why he was eating and having a place to stay because you were taking care of him. That don't make you a bad bitch. That make you a sugar mama. And some of y'all ain't a real sugar mama. You just get stamps or you got a better check. You just doing enough where you got a place to stay and he ain't even doing that. But now all of a sudden you think that this man coming back to you because you such a good woman when the truth of it is that you're taking care of him. That's why he's coming back. Has nothing to do with love. Spiritual is the same way. Some people have a false resume because they are fighting and doing work on people that do not take care of their spiritual hygiene. So those people are more susceptible to the spell work or their craft. Until you mess with somebody like me that is constantly cleaning themselves constantly, they're constantly feeding their spirits, their ancestors. They have a daily prayer life. They are walking in alignment with their divinity and they're walking their destiny. Those people are very hard to take down. And so therefore they start losing confidence because they shocked that certain things ain't happening. So, I mean, I just try to be honest with people. I think a lot of people are very unreasonable when it comes down to spirituality. And a lot of that has to do with they just do not know. And a lot of people can't teach them what I'm teaching because they don't know themselves. They just out here, they got a gift, they got a talent. That's like a man that's got a slung. Does that really make him a good lover? No. There's people out here that they have a gift. They were born with a gift. They don't really have any character, no dignity, or no integrity, but they still got a gift. You can't deny the gift. You can't deny the talent they got. But that does not make them a spiritual practitioner or a professional healer or worker because they don't have structure. And that stuff is important. See, I think we're in Miami now. Especially this time of year, he need a warm place to stay and his stomach to be filled. Exactly. You know, always remember in every aspect of life, even spiritually, there's always somebody for somebody. That's why I don't frown upon what I call Dollar General prophets or spiritualists. I don't frown on it because everybody is in a different economic. Just like when it comes to clothing stores or shoes, everybody can't afford to spend $1,500 on a pair of shoes. You know what I'm saying? Maybe you can afford to pay $200 or $300 for a pair of shoes. Maybe $60. But at the end of the day, as long as you got some shoes on your feet, but they're not the same. I don't have a problem with that. I have a problem when you're trying to equate all of this together and they're not the same. If there's different levels to this, it doesn't mean that somebody that I call a Dollar General spiritualist don't mean they don't do good work. You know what I'm saying? They are baller on a budget. Don't mean they ain't balling. You understand? But the point is that economically everybody or spiritually everybody in different places, and why they do or not do things has a lot to do with their skill set, what they're willing to do, and what they may have to do. I have been blessed to be in a position that I only take cases that I want to take because I have a job, a and I get paid weekly. I have a very decent job. I have a 6-figure job. So I don't really have, financially, I don't have to put up with a lot of stuff. And I tell people, you have to pay for my time, because I have to come away from my my job. I would have to come away from my my YouTube account, or the things that make me money, to tend to your business. So you have to pay me for my time away from my other sources of income. That just only makes mathematical sense. Some other people, they may not have the overhead I have. So just like if you go and buy perfume at the flea market versus going to the mall. If I go to the Aventura Mall down here in Miami, things cost very differently because I'm paying for the scenery. Shrimp fried rice on the side of the road costs one thing. Shrimp fried rice inside of that restaurant gonna cost another. And I just want us to grow up and stop making things as though they're complicated, or somebody cheating you, or somebody trying to get over on you. You get what you pay for. Okay? I don't see no questions up here. I might do a question and answer period, because I think y'all need to really ask some questions. But I think some of y'all feel like, well, I don't want to be on social media asking questions, and then no, I'm not gonna be ignorant to you. I think that people just really need to sit back and go to these classes, get these classes. So in some of my classes, you'll find it like, dog, I really didn't know that. You know, I shouldn't really be calling myself a seer. I shouldn't really be calling myself a reader. I shouldn't really be calling myself a healer. And if you are a healer, what type of healer are you? I'm a divine healer. You know what I'm saying? Yes, I work with herbs. I work with stones. I work with different things. But at the core of my healing is divine. That I have a natural divine gift to impart healing virtue in people, to help their process of their restoration or recovery. So you got to know all that, and so therefore you can properly market yourself, not oversell yourself and not undersell yourself, and to the degree of your experience. That's also important when it comes down to, can you remove poison from somebody's mind? Can you take a curse, a confusion, a curse, or a lunatic? Because I've seen people send lunatic spirits after people, make them go crazy. Work with the skull of a monkey, and work with that spirit and put that person's personal concerns in that monkey's cranium, and drive that person nuts. I've seen people use ant hills to drive people crazy. When I say people, I'm really talking about my spiritual dad, because you know he taught me a lot of stuff like that. Like, I know certain things to cause brain tumors. You know, working with certain aspects of the ground and putting and feeding them to ants. Certain things, feeding ants certain things about a person, and that them ants start chewing on that person's brain. Sometimes it comes back, manifests as cancer, tumor. It can manifest in a various way, but there's a lot of things that people have no idea what can be done because they don't practice. And a lot of people talking shouldn't be talking, because they not about this life. And that doesn't matter whether it's an Ifa, Voodoo, Santeria, Lukumi. Christianity has put a lot of people in bad positions, because most Christians are rude, ignorant, and loud. They're not slow to speak and swift to hear. And walking into a lot of the ATRs that are authentic, because not all people that practice are authentic, but when you walking into that arena, that's a very dangerous arena to have bad spiritual mannerism. This is so normal for Miami. All right. Let's see here. Janine Wise. Is anybody else? Okay. All right, guys. I didn't see any more questions, but make sure you go back at the beginning of this video, and especially and tie this into the video I did the other day. A lot of you guys gonna have an opportunity to learn this more in your next life, because a lot of you guys will be coming back, be reincarnated back into this life, because when you don't get this information, you cannot ascend to the next dimension. It's just in the whole thing about all spirituality is evolution. And when you're not evolving and you're just going through the motions of working on a job, being married, or being a mother or father, or running a business, or making money, and forget your destiny, you'll be back. I said, I'm drawn to spiritual life. I am to learn. I'm not stepping out doing anything else except dealing with my ancestors. I still question if I'm doing it right, taking it slow. I think the best thing about ancestry is I say this prayer, like I say a prayer like something of this nature, Janine Wise, like this: open my eyes that I may see, and unstop my ears that I may hear, because it's all about communication. And when you are praying those prayers with your ancestors, you're gonna learn how they communicate, and that does take time. And that is so smart, because it's a lot of people are reaching out to the Loas, the Orishas, the Impungos, or the Nkisi, or angels, or gods, and all. And that is the wrong way to do, because you have to understand the process of why your ancestors are going to be so essential. And you're going to make everything stronger than your own ancestors. So you're never going to be able to evolve, because when you elevate, they elevate. When they elevate, you elevate. And it's all about you evolving. And that is the smart. Feeding them and asking them simple questions and seeing how they respond back to you. Never do anything complicated. Do something simple, so you will see if they will actually work for you, or get somebody like me to activate them in your life. You know what I'm saying? I do that as well, especially if you're in my classes. I always communicate with people's ancestors when I do my classes, because I don't believe that you can actually learn unless your ancestors are there to help you open your mind and you know, so that, and communicate with you so you can get the most. So a lot of times people wonder why my classes cost like that, because if I'm going to deal with your ancestors and your energy, I need to clean myself when I'm done. But Janine Wise, that is ancestors and the type of ancestors you have. And then if you know what type of ancestors you have, then you understand how to stay in your lane. A lot of the time spiritual people telling folks to stay in their lane. Well, a lot of people don't even know what lane they in. Some people think they fast and they belong in the slow lane. Some people belong in the turning lane. That means they need to stop and get off the exit. Everybody ain't meant to be a spiritual practitioner. I don't care how many we got out here, and we got millions. But everybody's not meant to be a spiritual practitioner, and definitely everybody ain't meant to do spell work for people. And a lot of these people are not meant to be out here trying to break curses, and they get that crap from the church. Everybody anointed, everybody chosen. I mean, the Bible said many are called, few are chosen. But listening to most of these people, it's the opposite. Many are chosen and a few are called. That means we got more chiefs than you got Indians. That's why we can't, the churches or these, because the same concept is true with the church. It's true with these Mananzas and these other ATRs. Everybody is crowned. Everybody a high priest. Everybody this, everybody that. And that just don't make no sense, because as a body, everybody can't be the eye, everybody can't be the arms, everybody can't be the feet. So we already know just based off of anatomy that a lot of these people are being lied to, and they're there to make money. How long have you been at Houngan and Haitian Voodoo, and do you have godchildren? I have got voodoo. I'm 49 years old. I have been voodoo's ever since I think I know myself. Initiated I honestly, I think I can say that 13. I think because I got to think about what I went through with my spiritual dad, and then I went through another ceremony at 25, but that was just to tie me to other spirits on a certain degree that they wanted to see. I've been at this a long time. Yeah. And when you ask that question, it just, I didn't really think about it like that. But I have been, because I'm going to be honest with y'all, I don't really be getting into a lot of that. I'm about the magic, and I think people are more concerned about the religious aspects of voodoo, or Santeria, or Kumi, or Congo, or Apollo, or Miambe, other than, I'm not interested in that. If you can't do magic, I don't care what your title. You can be chief, you can be mambo. I mean, you can know all the songs, you can know all the dances, you can know all the mantras. I'm just not interested in that. Only thing I have ever been interested in voodoo is the magic, and that's what I learned. Everybody I ever learned up under, taught up under, they did magic. A lot of people are title chasing just in voodoo, just like they do in the church. Everybody want to be a deacon, a tata, or they want to be a apostle, prophet, a medium, or a spiritist, or that's just human nature. I need to know so much more. Yeah, it's like why I do it. But I do have spiritual children and God children. I wish that people would actually get into the ATRs. And so let me say this about voodoo. What's so beautiful about voodoo is voodoo teaches you the gods. Voodoo is spirit, nature, spirit in everything. I feel more myself, I feel as though I belong to God. I understand the serpent, Dambalaf, this Ezeli, Dontor, Ezeli Frida, just Ezeli, and those are serpent spirits. Most American people that call that Kundalini energy, those are divine beings, and I love the wisdom, the protection, the wealth of knowledge that they share, the wisdom that they give, because that's why serpents represent wisdom and healing and medicine. A lot of times they're always tried to be portrayed as destruction. That's not the only thing that they can do. I love Palo. Well, voodoo too with necromancy, but Palo, I really hoodoo, Palo, and voodoo with necromancy. Apostle Ely loves. I just don't put anything above voodoo, but I respect all the ATRs, and I practice Kabbalah. I practice a lot of different things. So you're more interested in the Bokor side. Now I wouldn't say interested, because I have a very dark nature. I feel that I can bring peace because of my dark aspect of myself, and knowing how to kill, poison. Because people, if you have the right character, you can heal people and you can help people because people will listen. To be honest with you, I'm glad you asked that question. I did not get popular because of the healing and the deliverance that I have done for people. my name got popular because of me putting what's happening on somebody's ass. Or bringing them to an end. When people, one thing about our people, when they find out that you have the ability to kill or bring somebody to their demise, then all of a sudden you get this mad respect for your power. That's sad. You can help 1 million people. Kill one person and they'll make you into a deity. And that's, whether people want to be honest about that or not, you can do all the good you want to. It's when you crack that whip. If I did not have that aspect of myself, a lot of people would have been killed me a long time ago. They don't care nothing about you helping people. There's too many wicked people in the world, in all these ATRs. And if you don't know how to stop them, no matter how much good you do, they'll kill you. And that's just real talk. I'd have been gone. Are there any books that you recommend for learning more? I had put some books out there before, but I take books with a grain of salt. Always pray and ask your spirits to guide you when receiving information, because no true spiritualist is going to be able to give the real information. They can give the basis of information, but they cannot give the secrets of any practices. Those are very sacred and held very closely. Like I told you, even when I was learning from my spiritual dad, he told me that I can use certain things that I learned from him to help my family, but I couldn't even tell my mother how I did it. So that's how close to the vest spiritual knowledge is. And sometimes it has to die with the spiritualist, unless you can find somebody that is going to respect and honor those traditions. And that's just real talk. There I have some books. I'm driving, so I don't have them on me. But if it's about herbs, Cunningham has some very informative books. But I would, if you were a family member, I want to say if you was my mama, my loved one, spending time with self is the most powerful thing you can do for your spiritual development, because then you have an understanding how your energy works with other people, places, and things. If you don't understand your energy, your chi, your ashe, I'm telling you, people cannot fool me. A lot of people have tried, but a lot of my development came because I understood certain things. I said often, I say often that it's very important for practitioners to learn black magic and how to counter it. Yeah, I think I was talking to some degree the other day about people, and it's not even like black magic as in a negative thing. Is how can you really heal a disease that you don't understand? How can you remedy a condition you have no understanding of? It just don't make no sense. And so if an individual is claiming spirituality and somebody comes to them, it's like if you got heart problems and the doctor don't know nothing about the heart, or if you got teeth problems and the dentist don't know nothing about the gums. Like, it just like, that's the stupidity of it. So how can I really be in a wicked world as such as we're living in? How do I help people and I cannot counteract devious, unscrupulous practitioners? You know, the whole concept about being a witch doctor is being able to doctor or bring remedies to people by which witches, or I like to say ajays, have performed on people, male or female. How can I really help you if I can't break a spell that some conjurer has placed on you? Then I can't really do you no service. Me telling you about what's going on does not remedy your problem. So how can you, really be effective in, especially in these days and times, it's so many dirty work being done from the church world to the, people wearing white, that don't mean nothing to me. Because I know if your clothes might be white, but your heart is dirty. It wouldn't be all these witch wars if people were so clean and so highly elevated. So I would not get into this without having a person. One of the things my spiritual dad told me, for all of you guys who want to understand this concept, he said, never ever submit yourself to a man or woman spiritually that does not accept you as family. You do not want a client relationship if you're trying to learn. You want a relationship with that man or woman, because if I don't see you as family, then it's easier for me to do certain things to you. What's up, Shamari? And a lot of times, I don't think a lot of you guys know how to be genuine, and I think that's going to cause a lot of problem, because the average person knows why you're seeking out their help. And I don't have a problem with people learning from me or learning magic from me, but all I ask is honesty. And if you're going to learn from me, then you need to contribute and support financially for the knowledge that you're asking me to give you. That's like somebody giving you the copyrights to their song. You want somebody just to give you their song and the copyright and you get all the royalties off of it? Like, it just don't make no sense. And I don't think that maybe you don't see it like that, but you're literally saying, listen, I want you to do all that work and put this together, and I want you to, once you get there, and since I have a need to want to sing a song and become rich, give me what you don't work for, and you benefit. You don't benefit from it. Your children don't benefit from it. Me and my loved ones going to benefit from all this knowledge and insight you have, and you get nothing. Makes no sense. What's up, Darius? What's up, my love? Yeah, I'm down here. I just think people understand. It's even as generous I am, I know that I have to receive certain things because I have to take care of these spirits that actually work for me. One of the things I tell people all the time, just for they don't, because I think it'll be unfair. When you hear me say I was born with my Mfumbe or my guardian spirit, I'm not talking about I literally have a spirit that walks with me to help me I came here to do conjuring magic. So when I got initiated in those other ATRs, I already had a spirit that did those workings for me before I ever got initiated, and he's still here with me. So I have more than one spirit that I have access to do conjure work. And I tell people that because a lot of times other people had to go and do ceremonies to get spirits. I didn't. I've never known a life outside of magic. And I think that's important. When you're listening to me, you have to consider that I'm a thoroughbred. I'm naturally, innately gifted spiritually. What's up, Jones? Oh, you on Facebook? You don't went on Facebook. Shamari went on Facebook. Yeah, it just I think that when people don't give people opportunity to know who they're listening to, if you're gonna sup from somebody's well, you need to know what type of water that's in that well, so you can be able to benefit correctly and have. I like to use the term a sober-minded way of listening to somebody. I think too many people out here trying to make these people think they're gonna get all these powers and stuff like that. You know, if they get certain crystals, they get certain ceremonies, they get certain beads and all that. If you're not gonna go and put the work in, you're not gonna be a bodybuilder. If you don't work on those muscles, those legs, you know, your spiritual muscles and legs, how you gonna stand? How you gonna hold things down if you don't put the work in? And even though I'm naturally gifted, I still have to put the work in. I actually have the mindset, I work like I don't even have certain advantages. Because I think it's dangerous to feel like because you got something natural or you're naturally have ability that you exclude the work. Everything needs hard work, dedication, faithfulness, commitment, and respect, gratitude, and honor. All of that is very important, guys. So YouTube was acting funny. But I hope that I help you in a sense of knowing about spiritual hits and just really just know, like, if you're gonna work with me, I just want you to know what you're really getting involved in. And if you're on a budget and you just, like, I'm just being honest, it just, what I do is very costly and you have to be really dedicated, but the returns are great. I'm gonna do some graveyard ceremonies today for some people and while I'm down here. But this stuff costs, you know, the traveling, the eating, the feeding of spirits, and I just think that a lot of people are not up for the responsibility. And that doesn't matter if it's in voodoo, don't matter if it's Santeria or Kumi. Every ATR is a responsibility. And it's a lifelong school, a lifelong. I know a lot of stuff and I'm still learning stuff. I'm finding out stuff I didn't even know existed. Literally did not even know existed. And I listen to people that don't even know half the stuff I know and they talking like they're experts. It makes no sense to me. And the people listening to them don't even know no better. That's why I tell you guys, listen to other practitioners. They'll tell you, I know what I'm talking about. I'm not guessing. And I don't have to do a working the way they do it to make manifestation because I got my own spiritual setup. That's so true. We wouldn't feel entitled too much. Yeah. I just realized that a lot of times when it comes down to especially if you out here, you need protection from an attack, or especially I look at people, I feel sorry for people that go to spiritual people for legal work when the people that they're going to have no knowledge of the legal system or even the legal system in their area. I'm trying to figure like, well, how you know how to help them when you don't even have an idea or no idea how the court system runs. Like, how you gonna do courtroom work? How you gonna do healing work when you don't understand the anatomy of the body? It just makes no sense. How you gonna coach somebody about life and you're not living good? Like, teach them what? Knowing spirits and knowing how to function in this mundane life, those are two different things. Everybody's spiritual ain't sober. And let me tell y'all another thing that you need to watch out for. People that always talking spiritual talk but not living this life, it's not the same. Just because you messing with spiritual tools don't make you spiritual. Spiritually minded, I should say it like that. Spiritual tools of any kind from any ATR does not mean that you are a spiritual minded person. Because you have a lot of carnal, childish people out here doing and messing with strong magic and doing spell work. There's a certain level of integrity that should come along with your spiritual maturity. And I'm the type of person like this, if I can throw a lick, I should not have a problem with taking one. And there's too many of y'all that's getting out here, you think it's a one-sided thing, that you the only one gonna be throwing blows, and that just, you're not ready for spirituality. All right, guys, I'm almost to my destination. No, I'm not out here ho-hopping. But I'm out here to get this stuff because I got some more work I got to do. And I'm running out of some stuff. So I had to go back to the warehouse. Sometimes these trips cost anywhere from $1,500 to $2,000. And sometimes I have to do them twice a week. Yes, I'll be making sacrifices. But it's going to pay off. All right. I'll talk to y'all later. Much love. Appreciate each and every one of you guys for tuning in.